Welcome back to the channel. Now, firstly, thank you to everybody who's hit like, subscribe, and commented. I really appreciate it, and I guess I should share that actually all of the stats on my channel, they've just fallen off a cliff. So I'm just doing it because I enjoy it, and I think I get some good interaction from people, and I like that. And before it was let's get to 1,000 and see what happens, and then I see some other people doing it but anyway, and also I'm kind of resigned to the fact that I do have to go and get a job very soon, so I need to just get on with that. But in other big huge news, I am in our new family wagon, and it is, wait for it, it is a 2009 Audi A3. Now, I know that one of our cars was a 2011 Audi A3 S-Line Sportback Black Edition Quattro, the car with the longest name in the world. And we sold that probably 2 years ago, maybe 18 months ago, because it just wasn't being used, and it was the right thing to do. So we sold it for something like £4,500. Anyway, this one isn't any of those things, apart from it is an Audi A3, and it is a 1.6 Sport, or 1.6 TDI Sportback. So the model name is Sport, apparently. But it's not sporty in the slightest. Now, I'm in fourth gear at 2,000 revs, doing 45 miles an hour, and I put my foot down. And now we're doing 50 miles an hour. So it actually drives very well when I go to fifth gear. It's comfortable, it feels quite tight. There's not rattling or anything like that. It doesn't have sporty suspension. It has proper thick tires, so with a decent sidewall, so my bones and my teeth aren't rattling in my skull. So from that point of view, it's actually pretty good. Now, the specs on the car, so it seems to have decent spec. It's got climate control. I think it's an FM stereo that I'm on. FM, AM, CD scan. Yeah, I think it's an FM. Oh no, I think there is a thingy. What's the thing called? Yeah, digital radio. I think it's got that. First gear, it's not really got anything at all. It's got stop start. It's got rain sensitive wipers. Obviously, power steering wheel controls, all of that. So it's actually, everything else is fine. I'm shocked at how I've forgotten how big the door mirrors are on these cars. You can see everything. It's like a TV screen, which is great. Now, the specs. So on performance, now let's go economy first. So combined, it does something like 68 point something miles per gallon, which is great. So it's on less than a quarter of a tank, and it says it's got 100 miles left. Brilliant. That's exactly what we needed. It's £20 road tax a year. Can't argue with that, really. And so from a performance point of view, it does 0 to 60 in 11.6 seconds. No, 11.7 seconds, which is an eternity. But you know what? I don't care. It jumps out into traffic just fine. It's absolutely fine. It's only 5-speed, which is also fine because the economy is great. Obviously, the running costs are great as well from a road tax point of view. Insurance is kind of okay, but it's 104 brake horsepower, does a top speed of something like 121 miles per hour. So all of those things are kind of irrelevant because they're not the reason we bought it for. It's super practical. It's not the four-wheel drive like our old one, so the boot's super deep. Not that we need a pushchair or anything like that anymore, because my little girl is bigger and will not sit in anything at all apart from her scooter, which I can't catch her on anymore. Anyway, now condition. It's actually not bad. I mean, it's a little bit worn. There's some like silver aluminium type stuff here, that's a bit worn. There's the thing's broken, the catch on the sun visor, but it just rattles a bit. It's got some really super old school phone hookup thing. I don't even know what that's for. If anyone knows what kind of phone that's for, just let me know. It's got some kind of aerial thing hanging off that should be stuck to the screen. I can't imagine it's for the radio. It's for something else, but it's wired in. Externally it's not bad. The back bumper has taken a bit of a hammering because someone's been dragging stuff in and out. I am the third owner of this car, or we as a family are the third owners of this car, and the mileage is 175,000 miles. That's a lot. Now, it's the one that I talked about in the last video that was £1,995, so under £2,000. I couldn't haggle any money off, the guy just wasn't having it. I was just fed up and I needed to get a practical car, so I did that. I checked the oil, I checked the oil cap, I checked the coolant cap. They're actually fine. There's no like residue or anything like that on there, so head gasket hasn't gone. The oil is quite black, so I mean, I don't know if that's a diesel thing, but I'll probably get that changed anyway. Let me just get onto the main road. Oh, this is interesting. Pull out at super slow speed and dump the clutch really badly. But so yeah, those two filler caps, absolutely fine. Yeah, I wasn't sure about the thingy. What was I not sure about? I can't even remember. What was I just saying? I'm losing my mind. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I checked those two things, absolutely fine. I didn't test drive it. I just moved it backwards and forwards to make sure that the clutch wasn't too high, that it needed new clutch. Fine. Now the problem is it comes with no service history apart from the original book, which has kind of random history. It was owned by a leasing company first, and then the same owners had it since about 2012. So the leasing company had it for the first 3 years, and then after that it was owned by one person. So they've obviously been getting it serviced somewhere locally. So in 2017 it had new brake discs, pads all round, and it had a cam belt. Now that's, so in September, so that was 4.5 years ago, and in that time it's done something like 45,000 miles. So it's at that point where it needs a cam belt. Obviously it needs an oil change and it needs pads. So that's a bit of expense. My local garage can do all of those things, but it's actually absolutely fine. But it drives okay apart from, so I went to pick it up with my friend. He drove it back. Then I drove him back to his house. Well, he carried on driving it. And the first time I drove it was when I drove it home from his, which is probably about 7 miles away. And I kind of sort of properly gave it the beans on the way home. And I got to the last junction before my house and it came up with a fault. It said system error, stop start inactive. Suffice to say, I turned it off, turned it back on, and it's been fine ever since. I say ever since, this is the next drive. So that's what I bought. I'll throw some photos and stuff in there. Everything works. The windows work, the air conditioning works, the wipers work, the rear screen wash works. All of that is fine. The tires are probably going to need doing probably in about a year or 18 months. The brakes are typically Audi. You get a bit of travel, nothing happens. Then you press them a little bit further and guess what? They're just on. And then what's the other thing? Obviously, you know, I'll be getting new pads and stuff. Other than that, the wheels aren't too scuffed. The outside is, apart from that back bumper, is absolutely fine. There's little bits, you know, there's wear and tear, but it's perfectly presentable. And now I just need it to keep going for about 2.5, 3 years. And it's, you know, I need to get child seats in. It's leather. It's full leather. This cubby hole thing is broken, which is fine. I could probably get that off eBay if I was really bothered about it. want to turn back actually here because I've missed my turning because I am actually on a milk run. And I'm going to go and see my friend Jez just to show him, and he's going to say, what have you done? This is a really bumpy road, but you know what? It's not rattling. I must have been motorway mileage because it's not beaten up. It's had a couple of wheel bearings changed. But, you know, the door mirrors work. I'm kind of pleased so far, but hang on. If I put the handbrake on, it's saying the stop start isn't active. It's not an error, it's just saying it's not active, but that's probably because I've got the air conditioning on and it hasn't got up to temperature yet. But it has got service due thing coming up, and there's a bus about to run me over. Right, let's see what I can get out of here without crashing. Yep, the brakes definitely a little bit sharp, but it's probably a lot of play as well because, and then, you know, when you turn the steering wheel it's fine. I don't want to just thrash the life out of it because you know, it might blow the turbo. It has got a couple of chips on the screen, but I think they're fine. I think a smoker's had it before because there's an overwhelming smell of air freshener. It's a bit rubbish, but other than that, this is it. This is the new family wagon, and it's, like I said, I'm hoping it's reliable, it's definitely safe, it's definitely practical, and it's kind of cheap to run. Going to get loads of mileage out of a tank. So now I haven't driven it particularly economically, but it's doing 41.2 miles per gallon. Everything on the dash works. I reckon I want to be able to get it to 200,000 miles, and I shouldn't have to take a hit on selling it because I'll have serviced it, we'll have done the pads, I'll get the cam belt done. It's all going to be fine, you know, unless that Range Rover crashes into me, which it won't. But anyway, that's the, I want to say quick update, but it's not. The brakes, oh my goodness. But yeah, so that's it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget, I can't speak today. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe and comment, and I'll put some photos up on Instagram as well of it, and you'll probably hear just a little update on it every now and again. I need to work out what to do with this phone holder thing because I do need this car. I remember having the other one that we had, which was just like, you know, it was much faster. It did 0 to 60 in like 7 something point something seconds, and had loads of torque right in the middle. But anyway, so this is it. Catch you on the next video. Thank you.